Welcome back to another episode of the High Altitude Training Institute. My name is Greg Reverdio, and this is week 13 of the Intermediate Half Marathon Training Plan. If you haven't watched the introduction video, I highly recommend that you do so. That video will give you information about three separate things. The first one is which of these training plans should you be following? We have a beginners, we have an intermediate, and we have an advanced training plan. The second thing is figuring out where you should be starting your training in these videos. This is a 20-week program, but maybe all you need is 16 weeks. So go on the website and figure out where you should be starting this plan. And finally, the last thing that it will do is help you with the pace. Which pace should you be doing on your easy run? Which pace should you be doing on your long run, on your tempo run, and all of that. That's all going to be in the introduction video. So go ahead and check it out. The link will be in the description below. You've now spent several weeks in phase 2 of your training, which means that you've done several of the workouts that we had lined up in the training plan. Now you've realized by now that these workouts are not always very easy. You can get the shorter workouts, the repetition workouts, or the I workouts, and you also get the threshold workouts at your T pace. One thing that's really key with these workouts is the amount of rest that you get in between. Some people always ask me, what should I do during rest? Should I jog, should I walk, or should I stand? Well, the answer is it depends. Most of the R runs and I runs are going to have a distance or a short amount of time of recovery between each of the repetitions. For R runs and I runs, you want to do a jog rest, which means that as soon as you stop, you're going to be jogging very slowly to recover until the next repeat. Now, I highly recommend that you go at whatever pace feels comfortable for you to be recovered by the next repetition. If you have to rest for 200 meters, take your time. Just jog as long as by the time you get to the end of the 200 meters, you are rested and you can give all you have in order to finish the 200-meter repetition or the 400-meter repetition. Whatever it is that you have to run at a faster pace, you have to be rested for it. Now, a slight note for people that live at higher elevation, maybe you need more rest between your repetitions. That's okay. Go ahead and take a little bit more rest if you need to be rested so your heart rate goes down, so your breathing goes down, and you're ready to go with the next one. In terms of your threshold run, you can notice that it says rest instead of jog in the description of your run. If it says rest, for example, 1 mile T plus 1 minute rest, that means standing rest. Now, why standing rest? Well, the good reason is the lactic acid is going to build up in your legs, and that's something that you need to get used to. That's something that you need your body to get used to. If the lactic acid builds up in your legs, as soon as you're done with that minute rest or 2 minute rest, whatever is in your training plan, then your legs are going to feel like lead as soon as you start running. Now, it's not a great feeling, but on race day, the same thing is going to happen. As soon as you start getting that lactic acid build up in your body is going to have to flush it. If you teach your body how to flush the lactic acid during training, then on race day, it's going to be a lot easier to get rid of it. Now, 1 minute rest for 1 mile threshold run. Usually it's 2 minute rest for 2 mile threshold runs, and so on and so forth. For every mile that you do at threshold pace is going to be 1 minute of rest at the end of it. Now what I do is I get to the finish, I stop almost immediately, and I stand right there. I'm not stretching my legs, I'm not doing any kind of stretching exercises when I get there. I'm just standing still until my 1 minute is over, and then I start running again. So this is it. R workouts and I workouts are going to be done with a jog, and T workouts, threshold runs, are going to be done with a standing rest. Now let's take a look at this week's training plan. For this week, we have a lot of good workouts in store. Phase 2 again, we're continuing with building up our endurance and building up our speed. Total mileage for this week is going to be 29 miles. We have 13 weeks until race day. And if you've done all 20 weeks, this is week 8 of your training. On Monday, we're going to do our easy run, as always, 5.5 miles. And then on Tuesday, we're going to get on the track again, if possible. If not, we can find a flat road to do this. And we're going to do 4 times 400 meters at repetition pace with 400 meters jog recovery in between. So we're going to do this 4 times. And that's a total of 5 miles, which includes 2 miles of warm-up and 1 mile of cool-down. Wednesday is going to be our rest day. And on Thursday, again, we're going to do our T run, and at the front of the T run, we're going to do 2 times 200 repetition with 200 jog. So kind of like what it was on Tuesday, except we're doing 200s. We're only doing 2 sets. And then we're going to follow this by 2 times 1 mile at our threshold pace and 1 minute rest in between each of the 1 mile at T pace. And then at the end of the workout again, we're going to do the same thing that we did when we started, which is 2 times 200 meters at our fast repetition pace and 200 meters of jog recovery in between. So again, this is kind of a tough workout on Thursday. 5 miles total. It's going to be 2 miles of warm up and then 1 mile of cool down. And on Friday, we're going to take the day off. On Saturday, our easy run is going to be 5.5 miles. And then finally on Sunday, we're going to conclude the week with a long run of 8 miles. As always, please give us a like, leave us a comment if you have any question, and don't forget to subscribe. We have a lot more videos coming up for you in the near future. If you want more information about the High Altitude Training Institute and what we do, please go ahead and visit www.altitude.run. You'll find that we do offer coaching, and we also offer a custom training plan for other distances. And finally, we offer summer running camps at high altitude in the summer in Arizona. Join us, find out more information, and we will see you next week. Have a great week of training.